Connor McDavid leads Team Canada to the Two Nations Face-Off Championship in overtime, 3-2 over the U.S. Jordan Binnington stands on his head. He's spectacular down the stretch. Our recap and much more in this WTF edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, longtime sportscaster and marketing consultant, along with Chris Golick, collectibles editor of the Hockey News and owner of Silver State Cards and Sports. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. So, the best player in the world, Connor McDavid, steps up when he had to, scoring the game winner in overtime at the 8:18 mark. On assist from Mitch Marner and Cale Makar, Team Canada goes on to win. Austin Matthews out to lunch there, blows the coverage and leaves McDavid wide open in the slot. Team Canada wins the inaugural 4, now down to 2 nations, down to 1 nation face-off. Such an exciting tournament, right, Chris? And goaltender Jordan Binnington stood on his head, making 20 consecutive saves after that Jake Sanderson goal there in that game. And McDavid, what an effort to score the game winner. Noah Hannafin was in the crease, but he actually did his job. He actually boxed out his man, but McDavid had a really clean look.
So I'll start with that game-winning goal. I'm pretty sure there was an icing right before that, which is why there was the low zone face-off.
That the fans booed. They booed about that because they didn't believe it was an icing call. Okay.
I can't remember how it went. Either way, there's an icing call. Early in the game, it seemed as Jack Eichel was demoted to the second line, and Austin Matthews was elevated to what was left of the Tkachuk line. Matty Tkachuk obviously didn't last too long, unfortunately. But that was done to keep Eichel out there on the ice with McDavid, kind of similar to what the Golden Knights have done with utilizing William Karlsson against McDavid. Eichel's defensive ability has hit a new level, and to see Eichel out there shadowing the best player in the world says something. Now, why wasn't Eichel out there? Well, there's an icing you can't change. I don't know if the McDavid line was out there before that or if that was John Cooper utilizing the matchup and the icing. But either way, I think that certainly is telling. You mentioned Noah Hannafin. Watching the play, I mean, yeah, Hannafin's got his player boxed out, and you can only guard 2 players at that point. You got a player on the back door. Hannafin's in the right place. Austin Matthews, he's getting dumped on for blowing the coverage. Yes, I don't mind him activating at that spot, because if you're on top of McDavid, he's going to find a way to get the shot off as well. But that pass has to get stopped, disrupted, something better than what Austin Matthews did. And Austin Matthews, I only caught for a second, but he was in tears after the game. He was bothered.
Oh, yeah, no, they took this so serious, and they were really dejected after the game. Team USA, Team Canada probably still partying up until they get on the planes to go back home and resume.
Don't kid yourself, but yeah,
resume the season. They were drinking some Molsons there. And again, Binnington. I'm a non-believer in Binnington. I was from the get-go. I couldn't believe that they stuck with him, but there's something about the magic of playing under pressure for him, I suppose, at TD Garden, where in Game 7, I think he saved like 32 of 33 shots when he beat Bruce Cassidy. Cassidy afterwards, still bitter last night in the locker room interview. Yeah, it was pretty funny. He was like, yeah, this must be his place. But you got to hand it to Jordan Binnington. And Aiden Hill now, we're feeling pretty sad for him and just what's ahead for Aiden Hill.
Yeah, we'll hit Hill in a second, but definitely Binnington, he was really good throughout the game, but then in the overtime, he just went bonkers. Big save on Austin Matthews' glove side, of course, the Brady Tkachuk tough angle and everything. And Binnington, and this is really a lot of goalies, but Binnington in particular, this is why my statement, I think, is going to stand tall about this. I think USA again, healthy, both teams being healthy. Maybe I got to put a little qualifier on there. But I think USA wins this if it's a 7-game series. Doesn't matter. It wasn't a 7-game series.
Game 3,
USA,
the rubber game in June. You're going to get your wish here.
I
I'm
hope
going to
so.
put it. Let's promote that. Let's put it together.
I hope
Okay,
so. Like the Ryder Cup style, but keep it USA and Canada. But going back to Binnington, I think the quote on yesterday's show, I think I said he's psychotic enough to win this game single-handedly. And both goalies are, but Binnington just has another level in the moments. And you mentioned TD Garden, of course, that's where he won a game 7 against, like you said, Coach Cassidy's Boston Bruins at the time. So full credit. And I think John Cooper deserves a ton of credit. The best take that I heard leading up to the game came from Bruce Boudreau. I was driving across town listening to the NHL Network, and he said that Team Canada learned more on Saturday about Team USA than Team USA learned about Canada. Now
well,
you got John Cooper, you got the best coach in the world, you got a really good
unbelievable.
staff around him, and everyone thought Cooper was crazy for sticking with Binnington for all 4 games. And the concern came after the first game when Binnington was announced the goalie against USA. Everyone's like, how Aiden Hill, what's going on? And it is Binner the winner and Hill the invisible. I mean, I know we're dumping on Hill a little bit, but the fact is that it didn't matter. And Montembeault didn't even get to put a jersey on outside of practice. So Cooper knows what he's doing. Cooper,
Yeah,
definitely
I'm not going to doubt him ever again,
No,
for sure.
no, God no.
And Team USA perhaps put all that emotion and lost this tournament last Saturday because they put all that effort right into that game, and they actually beat the snot out of themselves. They did.
Different situation, though. I mean, you have Charlie McAvoy, who was ragdolling and, for lack of a better term, beating the crap out of Connor McDavid. And, oh, yeah, let's add the best defenseman in the world to the mix now for Team Canada in Cale Makar. That's a pretty big transition right there. That's a pretty big change as far as roster shuffling goes. So, I mean, the writing was kind of on the wall. And again, the game did go to overtime. It could have gone either way. USA was probably the better team for more than half of the game, and they were the better team for most of overtime. Binnington was the best player. McDavid was not the best player on the ice. Binnington was the best player on the ice last night in that overtime.
He was MVP. He was.
Yeah, no doubt. He was the MVP of the moment. McKinnon gets the MVP nod for the entire tournament, which is always fair. He had 4 goals, I think. So that certainly makes a lot of sense. And I mean, got to save some time for Jack Eichel right now. Mark Stone said it pretty well. That was not necessarily a coming out party, but the world got to see what Eichel was capable of. Eichel found time and space out there. Eichel was able to, against the best players in the world, Eichel was still able to create opportunities, create moments, single-handedly dribble around some players while creating some good chances. And Eichel drove the net pretty hard in the overtime. Thought he had a good look there. Hannafin had a shot as well. And, it's just that's the highs and lows of overtime hockey.
That's hockey. That's hockey, bro.
Hockey. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Eichel did step it up to a different level. Great for VGK players. Eichel, of course, I think the only thing that I have against Eichel is he needs to be more selfish because he passed the puck a few times there down the stretch where I thought he could have had an open look or at least put the puck on net. Mark Stone, a passenger on the Brady Tkachuk goal, and that was his wedding present for Brady from last summer. Hannafin, a -1 last night, but again, a little bit of a rough series for him. But at go time and down the stretch, he did step up. I'll give him credit and a great box out there. And again, you're going up against the best player in McDavid in the world. And then Aiden Hill just shut out of this entire tournament, which is really crazy. And John Cooper really shut up the skeptics there, including me, by sticking with Jordan Binnington. I didn't think that he was going to be there at crunch time, to be honest with you. Even last night, I felt as though this guy might get shelled. We might see Aiden Hill coming in late to clean things up.
In a one-game winner-take-all, I think Binnington was definitely the right choice. You look at what the two players have done throughout their careers in the big moments. Aiden Hill, obviously, yes, Stanley Cup winner, had some incredible moments in his Stanley Cup run, but Never faced elimination. I don't know if Aiden Hill's ever even played in an elimination game in his career, to be honest with you. Okay, Game 7, Golden Knights, Dallas Stars. So has he ever played in a Game 7 championship scenario? Not many people have. But outside of that game, I don't know. I'm sure the Blues have been eliminated for more playoffs. I'm sure Binnington's had more. But at the end of the day, Binnington simply had more experience. And also at the end of the day, Aiden Hill still has not faced an NHL shot now. I think it was Thursday the 6th against New Jersey Devils. That's 15 days ago. Tomorrow marks 16 days
Wow. Yeah.
without him seeing a shot. So then this is why I wonder, honestly, and why I think Samsonov is going to be the better start, because
That's
Samsonov's
crazy.
he's got a week of practice with the Golden Knights,
Right.
not all the crazy hoopla of what's happening in the Four Nations. He's calm. He's not doing all this travel and everything. I think Samsonov should go on Saturday. Let Aiden Hill get reacclimated with the team and everything. Let him get a couple practices under his belt at City National. And then the team, I believe, they head out on the road after Vancouver, right? So, yeah, they go to Los Angeles for one game, get Aiden that game, and then there's a couple days off. Maybe you run Aiden, Chicago, New Jersey, Toronto, those 3 games, and let him start to get that kind of playoff rotation going, so to speak. It's going to be Aiden Hill in the playoffs. We know this. It's not going to be Samsonov unless injury or bad play happens. So this is the time to start going 3 Aiden, one Samsonov, back-to-backs pending, of course.
And now comes the downside after the two nations face off. Emily Kaplan last night said a ton of players were fighting through some major injuries
And illness. Illness went through both
and
locker rooms, too.
illnesses. And now we're going to see here as we pick things back up, VGK with 25 more games to go. But I am so curious to see. Of course, that lunatic Bruce Cassidy is probably in the office already. He's got to be in the office. He probably took the Molson with him. He's got the medal around his neck, and he's in the office here at 6:12 in the morning. There's no doubt.
Good for him. Good for
But
him.
we're going to see. We will see a residual effect of just putting so much effort. It was fantastic. They gained a ton of new fans. Friends of mine that don't really watch hockey a lot, they were glued to the TVs. Like, unbelievable what this tournament did for the National Hockey League, which, of course, we knock it a lot for the way that they don't market it and what have you. But this one was actually a home run. Nathan McKinnon a goal, Sam Bennett a goal for Canada. It was nice to see Jake Sanderson getting a goal for Team USA, and
who was playing terrible. He had 3 turnovers in the early in that period or something. I mean,
yeah,
first
he was, and Jacob Slavin, I think, is the U.S. MVP. Unbelievable tournament. I mean, and sometimes they go overboard, right, with the hyperbole, but he really did play well. Man, was he fun? I said, okay, let's go. We'll give up Hannafin. VGK gives up Hannafin, Vegas Bjorn, of course, Lars Carlson, and a bag of chips for Slavin. And they did post
what kind of chips.
Any kind.
Okay.
Did you see though where the Canes said, "Hey, he's with us till 2030, so he's under contract with us till 2030."
The Canes Twitter has actually been kind of fun
It was
follow if you check it out. You mentioned about marketability and everything. Yes, here's where, and to be fair, a couple good things for ESPN yesterday. They were highlighting the background of the players and what teams they play for and what kind of stretch they've been on. So that's a good thing. You mentioned a lot of new people watching hockey who don't watch the sport. So now they've hopefully been introduced to a team, and whether they're in an NHL market or they can adapt, they start following whatever team they want, which is nice. Marketability, like Jacob Slavin's a great player. How much do we hear about him here? We don't. McDavid, world's best player, you don't hear enough about him. Austin Matthews, a United States born phenomenal talent. Not a lot of people in the States necessarily know how good of a player he is. And of course, we can keep going down to Jack Eichel. So this is where the NHL, I think, hopefully is going to learn a lot of things, and hopefully they're going to find a way to market this better, because 10 million people in North America viewed Saturday's USA-Canada game. I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually a tiny bit less, as weird as that sounds, being a Thursday night and stuff. But either way, if it's anywhere between 8 and 12 million, that's phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal. It's not quite NFL numbers. The NFL Pro Bowl games does about that every year, but it's still moving the right
better
direction.
than the NBA All-Star Weekend and all that. That wasn't very
the
good.
NBA All-Star Weekend. No, NBA All-Star Weekend still outdrew it.
They did? Okay. Again, when you're number
it's still not
4,
bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad.
When you're number 4, you have an uphill battle, and it was just a good breakthrough weekend, or a couple of weeks, I should say, for the National Hockey League. The one thing I said yesterday on the Twitter was, if you go to a concert at the Sphere, no other concert compares. Nothing compares to going to a show there. The 4 nations now going back to regular hockey in the NHL, even nothing's going to compare. Nothing will compare. And the crazy thing was, I was so impressed with just the fact that the way these teams came together. It's not like they practiced every day leading up to this. I was just impressed that, the way that they found chemistry there on the
chemistry.
ice.
There's the buzzword.
I know. I had to get that in there. Coming up next, VGK returns home Saturday night against Vancouver. Will VGK be suffering from a 4 nations face-off hangover of sorts? Coming your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. That's right. With FanDuel, you can place the live bets throughout the game. Even if you miss the opening tip-off of the NBA, or if you want to bet on the fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. And I really do like watching FanDuel and just checking out the live betting feature, because it really does keep every moment of the game exciting. And whether you're backing your team for a late comeback, a rally of sorts, or what have you, or picking a player that can hit a clutch 3, you always feel like you are in the game. Plus, the app is so easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com. Join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick coming to you from Las Vegas. Don't forget, later on in the show, we have our WTF feature. So, Chris, do we expect Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, or Noah Hannafin to be on the ice on Saturday night against Vancouver at the Fortress? Long flight on Friday, headed back after a couple of weeks of physical hockey. And again, you don't believe that Adin Hill will be in net. And I'm also curious, too, the effects on the confidence of Adin Hill.
There's a lot to unpack there. Mark Stone said, "Hey,
why am I by myself on the screen?"
Yeah,
this is kind of crazy.
Hi, Tony. Hi. There you go.
There we
Hi,
go.
everybody. Good to see you. I'm so used to the solo shows. I can't do this.
Anymore. Zing! Hey, it's not even WTF time yet. But go ahead.
No, listen.
Proceed.
A few things here to unpack. Number one, Mark Stone did make the comment, we'll be back to work on Saturday. So I think everyone is anticipating playing now. Bumps and bruises and hangovers and what have you. Let's see what happens when the calendar turns Saturday at about 5:30, when these final decisions will be made, or even the morning day of skate and things like that. That's number one. Number two, Adin Hill, I think it makes more sense to not play him in this game. That's how I feel. Whether I'm right or wrong, we'll see. We'll see what Coach Cassidy says. I'm sure Adin Hill is itching to get out there. Now, Adin Hill, again, we've hit this a couple of times, but we'll do it one more time. Coach Cassidy is on the bench. On the bench of the team that Adin Hill plays for. Adin Hill couldn't crack a single second of game action. And not taking anything away from Binnington. Let's make sure we're being clear about this. But you come into an international exhibition competition.
Tournament.
Sure. Tournament. Yes, absolutely. You come into this tournament, which was magnificent, not taking anything away from it. You don't rotate the goalies. Okay, fine. Now you add the pressure. Adin Hill's still in a contract year. From what I've been hearing, it's been ugly. it's going to get uglier now. McCrimmon is a great businessman. He's cutthroat and ruthless and everything else, but he is a great businessman and great at running the Vegas Golden Knights and making a good roster that has an opportunity to win a Stanley Cup for the last 8 years. Oh, by the way, as an expansion club. So all of this is going to be put into a blender when it comes down to contract negotiations. And I think Adin Hill he's never had this pressure in his career. Think about it for a second. Adin Hill's been a backup. He's been on a couple of not so great teams in Arizona and the San Jose Sharks. So no pressure playing there. If he gets on the ice, cool. If not, his time will come, so to speak. Comes to Vegas as the backup to Logan. Injuries, a weird season, kind of have both goalies getting parts of the net. Adin Hill suffers a late injury, as does Logan Thompson. And Adin Hill was the backup goalie to Brossoit for the first, 7 games of the playoffs, the Winnipeg series, and then the Edmonton series when Brossoit went down. And okay, Adin, go get him. Backup goalie, go get him. There's no pressure. Adin gets paid, gets a nice contract, gets a Stanley Cup. Could have been Conn Smythe. Give him credit for having a great Stanley Cup run. No doubt about that. And now all of a sudden, he went from maybe a layup to increase his contract, get that nice
and be number one. He
term.
Was the number one goalie. Keep that in mind going into everything here with Team Canada and the way that they value.
Says who? Who said he's number one goalie?
I think the state-run media folks here.
I'm telling you, if you go back, look at Gary Lawless's opening camp lines. He put Hill's name first. Now, was Hill in the starters net? Was that just, whatever that is? That's where Lawless put it. But John Cooper had his mind made up before the tournament started. No doubt in my mind, John Cooper's mind was made up before this tournament started.
Oh, no doubt. He definitely made all the right moves there. So we'll see what happens. His confidence, I think, will be shattered here, and it's going to take a while, I think, for him to get back on track for the VGK. And then, of course, everything going on behind the scenes. And then I'm sure that McCrimmon will hold it up to him like, hey, you didn't even get it. You didn't even play for Team Canada.
We put a lot of work in for you to get here, bro.
and it also jeopardizes now Adin Hill's opportunity to play on the Olympic team, I think, as well. So we'll have to see.
It's going to be a tryout all over again. Him and Montsebo.
I can't wait. The next, if he's still with VGK, the first 10 games of next season will be Olympic tryout time. So Vancouver, pretty well rested coming in. Quinn Hughes will be returning. And for the third time this season, Thatcher Demko is out. And this time he's listed as week to week. And it's not a knee injury. So that's what hampered him before.
Okay.
This is something new right before the break. Kevin Lankinen is going to be in net. They have some issues with him because he turned down, according to a lot of reports that I read, Chris, that he turned down $3 million. He's making still his $800,000. And again, though, he's losing leverage as well because they pulled him.
VGK goalie Kevin Lankinen next year?
They pulled him for allowing 4 goals on 13 shots against Canada. But this is a goaltender that started off, if you recall, with that record 10-0 start on the road. Yeah, don't you remember?
No idea. No, I forgot there's even an NHL after what happened the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, good point.
Lankinen 19-8-7, 253-905. You mentioned Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes, supposedly it was the doctors that would not clear him to have any activity for the Four Nations. However, that would have played out. That's another show for another time. But at the end of the day, the local Vancouver doctors said no, which I think makes a lot of sense. So likely, like you said, to see Quinn Hughes on Saturday. And I mean, as far as the Canucks, this is a team in disarray, right? Elias Pettersson was also a ghost in the Four Nations.
He played 10 minutes in the game against USA, if I
not
recall
even 10
correctly.
minutes, it was like 9:40 or something. But yeah,
okay, 9:40.
Yeah, it was under 10 minutes.
Okay, 10-minute-ish. And then, of course, here was a guy that didn't even show up on the score sheet. He was a ghost. Okay,
no, he was irrelevant. JT Miller obviously was traded to your Rangers. You still got Brock Besser there. Connor Garland is kind of a little pest to deal with, but he's a great player.
Besser's on the block. He had 7 goals.
I think Patterson's on the block too, even with the Miller trade.
No, but no one wants him now. He's got no trade value.
Well, maybe
No
they eat
trade
some,
value.
and Golden Knights need a center.
He'll
So
be a
maybe that'll
Golden
work.
Knight. He'll be a Golden Knight.
Misfit. He's a misfit.
John Stevens yesterday appearing before the media and thought that the team came back and really performed well in practices here. I think we'll see. It's got to be Caden Korzak, right, with McNabb. I
thought you were wondering which coach we were going to see on Saturday morning.
Oh, no.
We'll both
Cassidy's in the office.
be back on the ice, or we'll be
Cassidy and Pete DeBoer were doing shots and matching each other and then, of course, Cassidy gets on the airplane, flies back home. He's in the office already. That guy's
He probably is. Tony.
And then, of course,
we're lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him.
Oh, hey, you know who someone to watch out for will be, because I think he'll draw in, and that is Raphael Lavoie, who's on a heater. He scored goals in 4 consecutive Silver Knights games, and he has a 6-game point streak coming in. And so I think he can contribute there now that he's into some sort of a groove, and now that everyone can pronounce his name around here.
I never want anyone to get injured, but I really want to see what Lindbaum can do.
You are a big fan.
There's something there. There's something there. It's just these goalies, when sometimes it just turns on, they develop that.
Did he surpass Akira?
I mean, that wouldn't be that difficult to do. Real fast here, just reminder that the Golden Knights did.
We still have another segment. Okay,
I know. Go fast here.
It's all good.
But reminder, the Golden Knights, they had that 4-game losing streak, 2 of which were in overtime with Dallas and Columbus, and then 2 in regulation to the Rangers and Islanders. And they came back with victories against Boston and New Jersey. So the important thing is that the Golden Knights, their team structure returned in their most difficult time of the season, usually the time leading up to the Four Nations or the All-Star break. So hopefully the team will hit the ground running and that defensive structure will return. Now, without Shea Theodore, that could certainly hamper things. If there's some, Four Nations hangover, we'll find out about that sometime tomorrow afternoon as well. So either way, looking forward to seeing the Golden Knights jersey back on the ice. Looking forward to seeing the players playing for their teams again. And we'll see what kind of hockey we get tomorrow night.
They're playing for the logo on the front of their jerseys, bro. That Crestrid. Okay. Coming up next, it is that time of the week again. It is WTF. What the Friday? Can you dig up some WTFs for us there and get me off the single screen there? Okay. Coming up next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. In sports, having a winning strategy is everything, whether it is playing Jordan Binnington and knowing how to play him for all 3 games there and what have you, 4 games there in the Four Nations face-off. The World Series, the Super Bowl, the Olympics, you get it. Again, you need that winning strategy. Same goes for life, having a strategy for life insurance from SelectQuote. And that can definitely make a difference, and you can protect your financial legacy and keep your family's future secure. SelectQuote makes it easy to find perfect life insurance policies. As one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience, they've helped over 2 million customers find $700 billion in coverage since 1985. And if you are in good health, you might even qualify for same-day coverage up to $5 million. No medical exams required, and it's more affordable than you think. You can get up to $1 million in coverage for as little as $20 a month. Get the right life insurance for you for less. Go to selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL. selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL. Go there today to get started. It's selectquote.com/LockedOnNHL. SelectQuote, they shop, you save. Back on this WTF edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick back in action. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. You could find us wherever you do get your podcast. Please make sure to check it out. So, WTF time. VGK thinks that this franchise is based in Canada. And I just had enough. Quit it. Okay, congratulations.
And you've been doing this for the weeks leading. This isn't a new development, people. Let's be clear about this. You've been on this for a while. This is not just because of last night. So keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm just sort of tired of it. Like Team Canada, Team Canada. Yes, okay. So Cassidy is an assistant coach and the power play genius for Team Canada and all that. And of course,
Oh for
the
1 last night.
players.
Oh for 1.
Yeah, 0 for 1. I know. There was just one penalty in that game, which is crazy. But again, state run just is going overboard on Team Canada. This is a U.S. franchise, folks. It's based here in Las Vegas. Put some respect on Team USA and the United States of America. WTF. WTF. Overslept yesterday's show. In case folks were wondering, I own it. I own it.
Sleepy dwarf.
Sleepy Floyd, you see right there.
I see that.
Remember the basketball player Sleepy Floyd? Okay, Georgetown back in
Been a while,
85 or whatever. Okay, so in any event, yes, I overslept. I was up all night. Why? Because I was on Twitter. I don't know what I was doing.
You're on a bender.
And I couldn't sleep. And then, of course, yeah, you said you even posted it like at 4 a.m. I don't know. I took NyQuil and then I was out. I've never done this before. I slept through two alarms and then the Gallic call. And yeah, and the worst thing ever. You know what? Even if I were awake, I wouldn't have answered that call. I was in Germany one time, and I got a wake up call, and I was like, "Well, go," and I was like, "No, slow down, bro. Get a woman to wake me up. A nice soft voice, okay? Let's try this again. Take two. WTF?" And then one other WTF from my end. Kelly McCrimmon told the Review Journal in an exclusive that we should not expect any big trades at the deadline.
STFU. STFU.
Yeah, okay.
WTF.
Okay, I'm done.
It was probably an audio only interview where McCrimmon was just like laughing his keister off after he said that, right?
Oh my gosh.
Scientist
he was throwing some back. Is he going to make the call? Will he make the bell on Saturday?
All right, quick WTF in the second period. The drone cam, which is like on like the harnesses, was like right in front of the action cam during the game on ESPN. So the part of the game was distorted for a little bit. That was pretty cool. So WTF ESPN there. WTF to whoever markets the National Hockey League. So this is going to be interesting now. The NHL decided it was worth the risk of injury to take a chance with the Four Nations. I don't think anyone expected it to go as well as it did, and it was awesome. But now the check is going to come. It's already come in the fact that Shea Theodore, I put the picture out there, Shea Theodore had to have help from Sam Montembeault to lift the trophy. Why? Because his right hand is in a cast. Okay, fine. Charlie McAvoy, that whole situation, that's going to be a very interesting to watch. There's going to be some finger pointing between Boston, the Bruins, and the Team USA medical staff on that.
The medical staff, yeah, they're already starting. Yeah, they're already starting.
Yeah, no, I saw that yesterday making the rounds. So Charlie McAvoy, Brady Tkachuk is dinged up. Austin Matthews came in dinged up. Sidney Crosby played dinged up. Oh, by the way, Matty Tkachuk has a groin issue. If anyone wonders how serious groin issues can be, look no farther than William Karlsson's situation right now. And this is before we learn about more lingering issues or before more issues are realized. So ultimately where I'm going with this is the NHL does a piss poor job at marketing the best sport in the world. So they decided to basically have the players be their sacrifices to march them out on the global stage. And good on the NHL for getting that part of it right. They had millions and millions and millions of views. This was a game I made a point to, me and Chris sit down and watch closely and analyze and, just enjoy the moment and everything. And I can't remember the last Golden Knights game I did that with. Probably because we go to a lot of them, but point being is this was different and it was good. Was it worth the cost? I think it probably was worth it in the NHL's eyes, but find a way to lessen the risk to the franchises, which still matter. I know that everyone, I get it, the players, the country matters more. I respect that. I do, but I'm not paying for international hockey. I don't pay for international hockey. I pay for Golden Knights hockey. Don't risk my investments. It's what it is. Don't risk my investment in going to these games and the money I'm putting out at the risk of the players putting on different jerseys. Find a way to make this work. You can do this in June. You can do this in August. You can do this before the season starts which has happened in the past.
Or even, again, if you're looking at player safety here, for crying out loud, one day in between the two nations, and then
They screwed that
you're
up.
back at
They
play.
screwed that up. The game should have been Wednesday night.
Here's the bet. Here's your bet of the season. Take Washington. They didn't have anyone on this roster, on any of the rosters there. Take them. That's a good bet. Let's get to some WTFs here. Wow, we're way over, but who cares? Because why? Because it's WTF day. Todd Laricos, am I a bad person for wanting to see both Tkachuk brothers on the Golden Knights bench?
No.
Who's with me here? WTF?
I'll take Brady over Matty, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. WTF, that's a good one. Our guy, Decoy, LV Decoy, WTF, after shutting McDavid down all game, they let him get wide open in front of the net. WTF. WTF from our guy, E-Runs, not trade during Four Nations, the league call an official freeze. WTF. Not too many men on the ice. There was like 8 players.
I think by the letter of the law, no one played the puck and they were at the bench.
It's rigged. And then he also throws out WTF. He'll be 2 rested now. And then at Jakar 3G, WTF. What letdown. I'm excited for VGK hockey. In sports, you never start by supporting your country, but your team. I can't wait to see the Howden line and the flying burrito. Come on, VGK. The Flying Burrito Brothers will be back.
We found Tony's burner, folks. We found Tony's burner. What was that handle again?
Over under on shots for the Flying Burrito Brothers, 5 and a hook on Saturday.
What's that line even going to be? I mean, I think is Pearson back? I mean, we'll have to see how this all plays out here. I guess.
There's no Schwint. We always forget about
crutches. He's done. Yeah. No, Carlson hasn't skated, so yeah.
Yeah, he still has ice on the groin there. That's it. He's sitting on a bag of ice right now. Ooh. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I answered the bell today. That's big news, bro.
I probably stayed up all nights.
I was up at like 4:30 because I didn't want to miss the show. For my man Chris Golick, I am Tony Cardasco. Thank you, everyone, especially our everydayers around the globe. We'll see you again on Monday. I'm Tony Cardasco, right here on Lockdown Golden Knights, and please take care.